EA Sports. It's in the game.
I've been on BYB. I'll never go on there again. He tried some gay ass ambush shit with me, and I was like, nope. And I just
Really? What was he trying to ambush you
I just
on?
pieced out. There's this dude Podawful who's been stalking me for 5 or 6 years now.
Right, I know you're talking about.
He shows up everywhere I go, and it's like I mean, you go watch his content. It's 99% Mersh shit, and I don't care. Just ignore him. You know what I mean? But the dude has done legitimate like life ruination shit outside of just. I don't care if you stream me, make fun of me, make memes, fucking Photoshop me as a fat guy sucking a dick. I don't care. You do all that stuff. It's fine. But they were messing with my family and like they were messing with my. You know what I mean? Like they got a. So I do cat rescue stuff, and he got a email campaign for everybody to go harass the cat rescue I worked with, so they wouldn't work with me anymore. Like shit like that. Like shit that doesn't affect my life. It literally only affects the cats I was helping. You know what I mean? It just makes it more difficult for me when I trap a stray now that I have one less rescue that's willing to work with me. So now instead of like doing the right thing, which is like promoting the rescues that help me, which would be great, get them some more donations and stuff, I have to keep it all close to the chest now because, they do gay shit like that. So I went on BYB. And they just had him on deck ready to go so that when he popped on, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not doing this. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Bye. Like,
right.
Because Ralph wants the exclusive. He's like, dude, if you ever go out it with Podawful, I want it on my show. And I'm friends with Ralph. So I was like, yeah, I'm never going to do that. But if I ever do, it'll be on your show. So I told, Quadfather, I'm like, if I told Ralph he's not getting this, why the fuck do you think you're going to get this? And I just left. I was like, so yeah, I'll never do that show again because Quadfather does a lot of weird gay shit.
Right. Yeah. I can see that. Is that one way, just between you and Podawful? I mean, do you? Has anybody ever?
Well, I've made fun of him before, but I don't go after him like the way he goes after people.
Right.
Like he does shit with real life consequences, which is fucking stupid and shitty. You know what I mean? Which is why he's been around for as long as he has, and if you've noticed, his numbers have never grown. Like he's never really found. You can see him like he'll try to find his way into this community, and then they'll kind of see through his shit, and then he'll snake into a new community. He was trying it with the Dabbleverse, trying to be a part of this thing, and people always eventually realize, oh, you're a gay dude that does gay shit to people. Like we're not, and that's why he always has to move on like a nomad. But I don't really, mess with him. But he's like, because I'm not going to encourage all this shit that was always going on, but.
I don't like any real life stuff. I do think that's making it something that it's not. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it at all. I mean, and even saying shit that can have real life consequences on stream. I mean, why do it? But people do it. What do you think of? What about Mike David? Are you guys? Are you guys cool? I mean,
I like Mike. Yeah, I mean, I don't talk to him. I used to talk to him a little bit here and there, and I've always liked Mike. I was a fan of Mike's. We were always cool. We had like a minor little tiff, like I used to be in that Facebook group he has. And I left the Facebook group once because I was on a trip with my girlfriend at the time and a couple of her friends. And I was bored. She was catching up with her friends. We're in the Airbnb. And I saw Mike David was live because people used to always tell me like, yo, Mike David's talking shit about you. And every time I would tune in, he'd be like goofing on me, but not like, I don't take this shit personally. Like if you're just goofing on me, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. But one day people were like, oh, he's talking shit about you. So I was like, oh, let me tune in and see what he's saying. I'll probably laugh. And I tune in and he's like going off about me and my co-host and like in a really nasty way. And he's like, yeah, and these guys are going to take advice from them about women. It's like, what do these guys know about women? These fat fucks, they don't get women and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there like with the audio on in front of my girlfriend and her friends. And I'm like, ooh, trying to X out of it, And I'm like, so I just left the Bring Back group. And ever since then, I've been cool with Mike, but I was just like, that was a little out of line. And it was also partly my fault. I shouldn't have been just listening to it with no headphones. But I just took that kind of shitty.
A lot of boom on that show. A lot of boom. A lot of.
Oh, I have it on mine too. Yeah, I have the boom too on mine. I actually have his exact one.
Do you really?
My buddy Scampoli gave it to me. Yeah.
Can we hear it?
Let me see. It's you might get a little echo, but here.
All right. Let me see. Can you believe Mersh?
Yeah, actually, the funniest impression I ever heard of Mike David is Robbie Goodwin does a really good Mike David, but he won't do it ever on his show because he just doesn't want the smoke from the Redbar people.
No, I
But
get it.
we were doing his show back when he did that show with Figs, and in between recording, voice tracks for the podcast, we were doing shots of tequila and just hanging out. And somebody brought up Mike David, and dude, Robbie killed me one time. He's like, "And we don't like shows with jokes, folks." And he hit the boom, and I was just howling laughing. I was like, that is the best Mike I've ever heard in my life. We don't like shows with jokes. Like, if you understand what Mike David does, like the worst thing Mike David has done to this ecosystem is create a bunch of Mike David clones that can't do what Mike David does. Yeah. So, and that's been the only, but like he has a very subtle, funny thing he does. Like he picks apart at a scab of somebody that gets somebody to melt down. But it's always a certain thing that when you describe it to any outsider, the person who's aggrieved sounds insane. That's the kind of the key to what Mike does. It's like he pokes at people and fucks with them, but over something that shouldn't even be bothering them. But they get so worked up about it eventually. Like, and then he started making fun of my shoes. And it's like, what, and you're this upset about it? Like, just ignore him.
I've seen look, I watch clips of him, with some, on and off I watch it. But when my first exposure to him, right, I was kind of like, I had never seen that kind of streaming before. It was before all the clones and before everybody. I hadn't seen that kind of A-log behavior before, and it was like, whoa, this is different. And I just thought people did shows. I had never seen anybody just like, like you described, picking at a scab and shit like that. So I got along with him when he was at Compound. I was going to have him on my show and stuff. And then as it fell apart, he just kind of like the line went cold on his end. That
Compound era of Redbar was hilarious. His filling in for Gavin is one of the that's one of the funniest episodes of Gavin's show ever, and he's not even on it. The one where Mike David filled in and Louis J. Gomez was his guest. It was a train wreck. And then at one point, they're like, "Oh, do the deep discount reads." He's like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't see any money from that. I'm not doing it. I don't." Wow. He goes, I don't have any experience with their product, and I shan't be doing it. Lewis, you can do it if you want. Lewis had to do the live read. Mike was like, "I won't do it." Like, he's very funny when he wants to be in his own way. But people that get affected by him melt down, and they think he's this like diabolical supervillain, when really all he's doing is watching your show and going, "I think Pat Dixon wears makeup for this podcast." Everyone telling me wears makeup in the chat. And then
I was the only one. He was always really kind to me. I never heard anything. I mean,
I'm just making up a random thing, but then the end goal is to get you to be like, "I'm not wearing fucking makeup." And then we're like, "Yeah, we got him." It's so silly.
Right. I saw him picking on Joe List not too long ago. He was maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago. He was talking about Joe List and how evil Joe List is and stuff. And it was like, wow, that's something that you almost would never hear anybody else say.
I know, he's such a sweet boy, everybody says.
The like in the Dabbleverse attract like. Like the people, if you look at everybody on MLC is basically the same person, just in a different fucking form. They have their differences, I guess, but mostly they have the same way of thinking about things. They're willing to just like, okay, whoever you don't like, I don't like, and that's part of the price of admission over there to be a regular guest.
Yeah, and if you're going to rely on drama, it's like I've said before, I'll say it again, when you inject that much drama into a show and you're only a drama show, it becomes like a thing that you can't maintain. You just can't keep like maintaining that level of drama to keep people interested. I call it the ECW effect. So like I used to be a big wrestling fan growing up, and ECW was like the exciting company, and they were like, guys were coming out to like Metallica songs and hitting each other with like fucking, broken glass and like chairs and shit, jumping through flaming tables. And the problem is that people weren't buying their pay-per-views because they were giving this shit away on free TV every week. And I started calling it ECW syndrome. It's like, if I just watched a guy jump through 2 flaming tables for free, why would I get the pay-per-view? And then the next week, it needs to be 3 tables with thumbtacks on them, or it's not as exciting as the week before. And it's like, when you start relying on that, it's like, well, eventually you're going to not be able to deliver. And people are going to go, this show sucks. So it's like, like I've seen Kevin's solo streams. They're abysmal. They're abysmal. He's just clicking around and going, what is this? I don't know. We'll just watch Chad, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he just sits there and watches old clips of people, but he doesn't add any comment. He'll just sit there and watch it.
He'll
It's
stream
weird.
snipe Ray sometimes, and he doesn't really have too much to add. Ray is the eternal whipping boy over there, the eternal middle child who can't catch a break.
I like Ray, but what else would he be doing besides the Dabbleverse, though?
Just doing his stand-up, He never really seemed to matter much. It never seemed to matter much to him if anything was big or successful or whatever. He's never worried about it. Look, I had a little of that too. As a stand-up, I'm just like, just keep working and keep looking for opportunities and maybe eventually. But then you realize no one's looking for 40-something-year-old white guys at all. So, you got to find some audience somewhere. It's a good time to, I think I had the podcast going in 2011, but when I started doing the streaming over a compound, that was like a big step for me. Anonymous says, I disagree. Okay, $5. Thank you, Anonymous. I disagree. The people on MLC are not all the same. Kevin's not funny, and, oh, wait.
I think Kevin's funny. I think he still shows flashes of Kevin Brennan. Like, when I started picking on him and he responded to me talking shit about him, like, I saw flashes of Kevin again. It was funny because I was really throwing some heaters at him. And when he starts getting defensive, he's hilarious again. And I watched a video of him responding to me and I admitted defeat. I was like, all right, Kevin wins. Like that was in master class on how to handle that. When if you could just be that guy all the time, it would be amazing instead of like the lazy, like, yeah, I don't know, let's bring Ray's landlord on.
He does try to when he has some warmth to me is when and I know that sounds crazy. Kevin and warmth are not really necessarily used in the same sentence a lot, but he does have a warmth about him, and you need a little of that in order to make the fucking other stuff pop. You can't always be like Shuley. He went on about Shuley for so long that people got so sick of it. Now it's Melton. It was Melton for a long time, and it was me for a long time. It's like it's people really do kind of like, all right, we get it, the person you hate is the devil. But I think occasionally he's got to have some of that, like, yeah, I'm an actual guy, I'm just a person,
He was watching a video of me trashing him, and I'm like, Kevin, you're not even the most famous guy at the Brennan family reunion.
I heard that. Yeah.
But he was hilarious. He went, yeah, we don't do those anymore. It's too many fights. I was just like, see, this is a masterclass in how you dismiss a troll that wants attention. Yeah, I was the troll that wanted attention in that case, and he kept swatting away the points I was making. I was like, see, that's funny. Like when I was like, oh yeah, those fucking, you're not even the most known Brennan. And he's like, oh no.
Oh no.
And then he broke and just went, all right. But the funniest thing Kevin said the whole time was, I said, look at your show now. It's so low quality. I said, look at the people you stream with. They're all fucking clowns. And he literally just laughed and went, he's got me there. And I was like, see, he's still funny, man. Like,
yeah, you got to know when to concede the point. He won't defend people that he has on.
He threw everyone on his show under the bus. He was like, yeah, he's got me there. I was like, Jesus.
And all of them are there with a text. All of them are there with a text,
That's where the disagreement came between us. Because I wanted to go on his show when I didn't have a YouTube. And he was worried he'd get suspended if I showed up on his YouTube page. I'm like, that's not how things work.
He says that.
I'm like, Alex Jones is on every fucking show on YouTube, all right? And they're not kicking their shows off.
It's never that. That's not what it is.
And then like a couple months went by, I was live doing my show, and I had like a bunch of people DMing me and in my chat going, Mersh, Brennan wants you on now. He wants you on right now, dude. And of course, some of them aren't my fans. They're like Dabbleverse people that think the king has summoned me. I am to be in his quarters immediately. Yeah. And like, I'm crazy to say no. And they're like, dude, you're going to get it on MLC. And I'm like, I'm doing my own show right now. I have like 600 people watching. Yeah. I'm not on Rumble, not even YouTube. I'm like, why would I'm going to stop my show because I'm being summoned to make another guy money? I don't do that. I'm sorry. And then he took like exception to that. But again, I'm not these other bums that have nothing going on. You can't decide to stream during my time slot and then go, I want Mersh here. Get him over here.
Never.
Well, unless you're Pat Dixon. I am an hour into my time slot, but this is different.
Didn't he started with you though? Didn't he start with you about the fucking about you being on Super Tips? And he gave you so much fucking shit about that.
That was why I went off. It wasn't like I just wanted Kevin's attention. I was responding to that, yeah. And it was very weird. And I kept saying like, you shouldn't be angry that I'm on Super Tip any more than I should be angry that you aren't. Like, nobody should be counting each other's wallets. Nobody should care. And that's why I know Kevin's doing it. It's a put on. It's WWE. He's doing he may not really I'm sure he doesn't like Melton. Fine. But he doesn't hate him on this psychotic of a level. It's performative.
I don't think that's it. I really don't. I think that it's that Chad got on Super Tips and he couldn't really say that much. For some reason, he won't just pop off on Chad anymore. He just won't. And I don't know why. Chad can do anything, and he just is like, yeah. What do you want me to do about it? I can't do anything about it. He's gonna do it. So, and then Karmic, also Super Tips. He has him on all the time. It's never a fucking problem, never an issue. He never addresses it. Oh, Super Tips. But so that's why when he's not gonna go off on his own people about it. So he had to show his fucking dismay that you were doing it. I think. He also thinks that every friend that Melton has, which he puts you in the friend of Melton category because of that, is a friend that he doesn't have. That's an ally that he doesn't have. And, it's all I think with him, it's like zero-sum game type shit.
Yeah, but I mean, the only reason I'm on, and the other thing is, I think he's bothered by the fact, the reason he doesn't really get on their case is because he knows how desperate they are. He knows they need Super Tip, or they're not going to make any money. Yeah. I think it bothers him that I'm on Super Tip and I don't need Super Tip. I think that bugs him. I think that the volume of Super Tips that I've been doing bugs him. I think the fact that I'm in the high rankings all the time bugs him because I'm enriching Pat's platform. And I technically could go back to coffees. I could go back to whatever. I've survived getting kicked off of everything. Twitter, YouTube. I lost my PayPal. I don't even have PayPal anymore because of Gabe Hoffman. I've had people really go after my shit before, and I have always adapted. My bills are always paid. I always take care of business. And plus, you can't take me out of business because Revenge of the Sis alone is guaranteed $5,000 a month, no matter what we do. So it's even if you fuck me out of everything and take Nightwave away from me, it's at the beginning of the month, I've still got rent, car payment, insurance. I got everything. So it's it's just dumb. I think he probably liked me a little bit more when me and Patrick were going at each other. And then I think a lot of people were kind of weirded out when me and Patrick were I was yeah, I'm on Super Tip, whatever. And I went on this little piggy to make fun of Aaron. Yeah. And I really want to thank Aaron Imholt. Aaron Imholt brought the whole team together because I never would have went on this little piggy. I never would have called it out. And we buried the hatchet, me and Melton. And it was dude, he's literally, the reason I was able to bury the hatchet with Melton and not other people on the internet is because all he did was goof on me and I talked shit and goofed on him back. It never got into real life shit. He never went after my family. He never went, you know what I mean? He just made fun of me and I made fun of him back. And then when we finally talked it out, he's like, yeah, so what about Super Tip? And I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And then when I started using it, I started doing really well on it. And Pat was like, yo, man, I appreciate you fucking burying the hatchet. And I was like, yeah, of course, dude. It was never that personal. You're just a guy on the internet. I'm a guy on the internet. I got to kill 2 hours making fun of somebody. You popped up in my feed. I'm going to make fun of you for a little bit. It's nothing. But Kevin, it's everything is a fucking holy war. And Karmic is the same way. Everything's Chad Zumock's another one. It's a holy war. And it's it's not. You're just a bunch of goofy fucks that I'm laughing at. Laugh at me back. I got plenty of foibles. My car got repoed a few months back because of my drinking and my gambling. I got it back, by the way. I had the experience of. Have you ever had a car repoed and got it back?
No.
They treat you so weird because I don't think anyone ever goes and gets their car back. It's insane. I went there, they didn't believe me. They triple, quadruple verified my paperwork. It took me an hour to get my car back because they could not believe a guy just showed up with $3,000 and was like, where's my car? And they're like,
yeah, I'd like to keep it.
Really? Okay. And then there was a call to a supervisor. Somebody came down to the loading yard. There was a whole thing back and forth. They asked for my paperwork 3 times. They took it to a supervisor. They're like, no, it really says release the car. And I'm like, yeah, can I have my fucking car, please? But I mean, yeah, you can still make fun of that. You can make fun of my drinking and my gambling, which I'm not doing much of either of anymore. But yeah, there's things you can do with me that are fine. And, Melton always colored in those lines. And I never, I wasn't a part of the Melton's a pedo brigade and all that shit. I know what shit's serious and what shit's not.
Yeah.
And maybe if Kevin could just chill out, these people could have fucking, it's just another avenue to make money.
Hit the follow button. Hit the like button.
Okay, Doom, you're gone again. That's it. I'm so sick of you anyway.
Doom used to wear diapers. And now he's a rotten piece of fat-ass lard-ass who's in a fucking trafficking ring on the internet, and you're the government. Where's the fucking protection?
Doom's an asshole, but I'll unban the guy.
Doesn't matter how you think you're a hero in this and a hero in that. Look at Doom!
Oh, Ted, that nigga gon' get clipped today.